Hi, I'm Hemant Satyanarayana. I'm the founder and CEO of IMAGINATE. I come from a background of technology, did my bachelor's in IIT Madras in mechanical engineering, and then worked for a year with IBM in India, and then decided to do my master's. I was in mechanical engineering earlier, so I wanted to do something which is interdisciplinary in both mechanical engineering and computer science. So I identified two fields. One is robotics, the second is virtual reality. I happened to choose virtual reality, did my master's at University at Buffalo in US, but my thesis was on augmented reality for liver surgery. So ever since 2004, I've been in the space of augmented reality and virtual reality. Right? So after master's, I worked for a little while in Princeton in New Jersey for a couple of startups, and then decided to move back to India. When I moved back to India, the first startup that I ran was in the space of virtual fitting rooms. This was in the year 2011 when Microsoft Kinect was not even launched. Right. So in 2011, I got married, and then and it was before 2011. Otherwise, my wife will come after me. But yeah, so I got married, and we were looking to buy sarees and all that. Then realized the problem with trying out sarees. Then I decided to set up a product in the fashion space, which is a product which enables people to try on clothes virtually. But we were too early for the market, so we shut it down in 2016, and we started a new company, IMAGINATE, in 2016 towards the end of 2016. So IMAGINATE is a company that I run over the last 5 to 6 years now. It has been in the space of virtual reality and augmented reality. So I shut down the old company, and I was looking for new ideas, what I can work on. But with my experience in virtual reality and augmented reality over the last 10 years till 2016, and with the onset of virtual reality devices like Oculus from Facebook, HTC, and a few other companies, I realized there is a need for a software which works across all these devices uniformly. Because not every enterprise company can afford to try on every new technology for their business purposes. So I thought, why not we be that company which provides a software which would sort of work with different VR or AR devices, so that they just depend on our software, and our software takes care of all the grunt work, working with different headsets, different smart glasses. That's one part of it. The second part that I realized in 2016 was the challenge of virtual reality content. Whenever it comes to VR, people would sort of go to a 360-degree video, and then once they see it, it's the end of it. Only when there is a new video that comes in is when somebody would come back and see it. So novelty fades off. Novelty comes in only when there is new content. So how else can we engage people inside virtual reality? So I realized, why not we, like how Facebook became popular, why not we get more people inside the same shared space? Like if I am into a VR experience, if I also have my friend also inside the same VR experience, and we get to talk to each other, we get to spend more time in the VR experience. So we decided to develop a software which is a device agnostic, which works on multiple smart glasses, and a multi-user collaboration software. This was in the year 2016 when we decided to start this software called Atom at IMAGINATE. So the Atom software at that time, like I said, is both a multi-device and a multi-user collaboration software. Now this could be a software which is targeted at consumers, where people just come in VR and sort of talk to each other, chat with each other, or it could be targeted at enterprises. 2016 was the year when Zoom was also not very popular. So we decided to target enterprises, because if you look at enterprises, especially those companies, for example, a Siemens, for example, a Cisco, or Reliance and folks like that, where they work with a lot of machinery, where people come in and work with different machinery. So we thought, why not we solve the problem of training on all this machinery, or training in different processes, in the virtual space, where we create virtual worlds which are basically replicas of real world factories, replicas of real world machines. We bring that inside the virtual space and get all these employees to come there and get to learn from each other, or get to learn from a trainer on virtual apparatus. Is what we envisioned, where we thought there's a lot more productivity enhancement there with what we do, instead of casual conversations. So we decided to pursue the enterprise sector, where Atom is targeted more towards enterprise training in the industrial sector. So that's our target market, industrial sector across FMCG, oil and gas, automotive, aviation, and other industries. Now, now I'm talking about the next part in terms of utility, right? So when let's say I joined the company like a Reliance, for example, new, or a or a Merck, or somebody, a Maersk, for example, very new, the first day of my job. Instead of watching a video in a classroom with a trainer where it's not a hands-on like experience, what if I actually come inside a digital replica of Maersk, where I see the whole shipping container along with the ship, and I see my fellow colleagues who I eventually have to work with, all inside that virtual twin, where a trainer comes in, and so a trainer takes me on a tour of the entire ship virtually and tells me how actually I have to do my day-to-day job, is much more beneficial to me than watching a video. So we started off with training, right? Now after let's say 1 week of my immersive training, I will get on field. Right? When I get on field at the container, where my day-to-day job is all about inspecting how many containers, inspecting the safety aspect at each and every area in the ship, for example, right? But my day 10, but is still my day 1 at the in person at the ship after this training. I still may be very rough there in terms of how to do my job. So what we decided to do at IMAGINATE is to produce another software called Assist, which will complement Atom, where it helps the worker at site while he's doing the job by sharing instructions on how to do his day-to-day jobs. It will guide him at each and every step on how to do his task, and at the same time it uses AI to detect what he's doing, correct if he's doing something incorrectly then and there, to assist him finish his job correctly. Not only that, it also helps the individual to call a remote expert who could be across the world. In case of a calamity or an issue, he can do a video call with a remote expert and get live support. So Atom is a software that we targeted for training, immersive training at offsite, and Assist is a software that is targeted more for on-field training and on-field support. Right? These two products are what make IMAGINATE. We're fortunate to have a few other customers in banking and several other sectors where they have seen use cases in their own ways, but this is actually meant for industrial sector for training and support. So I've talked a lot about what Atom and Assist does in the virtual reality and augmented reality space, right? I didn't really say virtual reality, augmented reality, but it is sort of implicit that immersive training is in the virtual reality space, and on-field training and support is in the augmented reality space, right? I have not yet used the word metaverse, but metaverse is actually a newly coined word over the last six months now. But this is something that we have been doing in the metaverse space over the last 6 years now, right? We're fortunate to start in this journey with MetLife as our first customer in the financial industry space, where the idea was to enable the customer who is at his home to be able to connect with a remote agent all inside a virtual reality bank, right, or virtual reality office. Instead of I walking to a MetLife office, I can be at my own home, put on like a wireless Oculus Quest device, and get assisted with this, an agent, an AI chatbot, or just a manual powered agent who comes in as an avatar inside the virtual bank and assists me in all my queries, whatever I have. This is how we started. But like I said earlier, our target became industrial sector after, right? So we started working with folks like Reliance Oil and Gas, where we work with them to help them digitize their entire operations at one of their sites in India. Right, so their entire operation is actually digitally twinned using our platform, so their employees can get onboarded completely inside the platform. Like Reliance, we have Mondelez. Mondelez is a company which may not be well known, but it's the world's probably one of the largest chocolate manufacturers. All of us know Oreo biscuits, Cadbury's. Today is Rocky, right? All of us know Cadbury, right? So these are brands of Mondelez. We work with Mondelez in Bratislava in Slovakia, Egypt, UK, and in India in Sri City. So like Mondelez Reliance, we work with Cisco. Cisco has been using our platform, rechristened as Kalki, where Cisco uses a platform more in sales, right? Let's say if you want to sell something to a customer who is a hospital owner, right? Instead of bringing him to your office and then showcasing your product, why not you actually bring the customer inside a virtual reality environment of the customer's hospital itself? If the customer has a hospital, why not you show a solution of how it works in his hospital, which is actually possible with Metaverse, right? So Cisco uses our platform to bring different sales use cases to customers across different sectors. Now it's super easy to use our product for Cisco or for even for a small SME as well. We provide our software on a monthly subscription basis. right? It's not, I mean, it's super affordable. It starts with few hundreds of rupees, on a daily basis, to a few thousands of rupees or few lakhs, depending on the number of licenses that you take, right? We cater to all types of audience, sort of like Zoom or sort of like Microsoft Teams or Google Meets. Our software comes on a monthly subscription, and based on the number of users that you want licenses for. So like I said, our software is more like a SaaS solution, right? Like SaaS software where you based on the license you have, you can sort of log in into our software and upload your content. We give you a web console where you can upload your content. Let's say I'm a training manager for Schneider Electric, for example, right? And I want to, I should be able, if I were to use this software, I should be able to upload my shop floor in a 3D. So we actually give a web console where I can upload it through a web console without IMAGINATE's involvement, all inside the virtual reality space, and organize a meeting with my fellow colleagues with my next training batch. Right, so we have taken care of how do you bring in your own content without any IMAGINATE's involvement. So that's the second part after the license, right? So because eventually when somebody wants to use our software, they want to use the software with their own content, right? They want their own machines, their own environments, facilities to come inside. Now the third thing is they want to be able to use this in their own hardware. Like for somebody, a virtual reality device which is a completely wireless, super sleek, portable is what they would need. But for somebody else, because this is wireless and portable, it is probably not so powerful to render very rich high-end graphics. So for them, what is more important is the realism. So which means this device has to be connected through a wire to a very high-end computer, right? So there are, in the market, there are several such devices. There is HTC Vive Pro, which was released a few years ago. There are many such devices which are tethered to a computer which can produce very rich graphics. There is wireless devices like Oculus Quest. These are in the VR space. And Lenovo has an AR device called Lenovo Think Reality A3 device, which is in the augmented reality space. Like this, Microsoft has HoloLens and so forth. So not every device, is the best device for every customer who we target. So what we have done, which is the third advantage for the customer, is we ensured our software works across all these smart glasses, and we leave it to the customer to pick whatever he likes. Let's say the customer says, hey, look, I don't have any of these glasses. Can I start with a Windows PC first? I already have a Windows PC. This is my enterprise Windows PC. Can I use your software to have any benefit at all with this? Yes, absolutely. To start with, it is much better than having a video as a learning material. So in our software, it's more like a game where you have your mouse, keyboard to sort of go inside the virtual digital twin and meet your colleagues and play with each other. So that's the interactivity that right there, if not immersiveness on the PC. Second, with smart glasses, where comes the immersiveness comes in as well. So most of our customers, what they do is they start off with PC to begin with without any hardware investment. Just pay like $1,000 per month for the license. Then eventually when they see ROI from it is when they invest in smart glasses. Like recently, Accenture, I think, shipped about 1 lakh Oculus Quest VR devices for all its employees worldwide, where it thought, the future is where, every employee is not just empowered with a laptop and a camera, but also with an immersive headset as well, which is probably, a portion of the laptop's cost. Whatever I have said so far is actually sort of without using any of the jargons, right? I mean, I did use virtual reality and augmented reality as the technologies, but there is this umbrella term which has sort of come in the last few months now, which is metaverse, right? Famously coined after Facebook got rechristened as Meta, right? So metaverse, in my view, is more like an umbrella term which incorporates all the technologies that are essential to have people to sort of communicate in virtual spaces. Right now, it could involve NFTs, it could involve blockchain, it could involve AI, which is essential everywhere, or virtual reality as an experience medium, or augmented reality as an experience medium. Right. So ours, I mean, like I said in the beginning, what we have built is a multi-user, multi-device, immersive collaboration platform, which is most of what metaverse is all about. Right. So now metaverse, I can't speak about several other use cases of metaverse more in an NFTs use case where you have a unique item where you can buy it and so forth. But metaverse in the industrial sector is actually very, very relevant in terms of enterprise industrial sector for many use cases. The topmost use case as we see today is marketing. Everybody, every hospital, every bank, every organization wants to be in the metaverse just to sort of market itself as a brand, as a youngsters favoring brand, by their presence in the metaverse, right? So notwithstanding that, the enterprises also have needs to start experimenting with metaverse. Now everybody wants, now metaverse was very new earlier. I mean, nobody knew what metaverse was. When we were explaining collaboration, virtual reality, augmented reality, it was super difficult for us to explain that. Now everybody understands it. Everybody is seeing Facebook's videos of people with avatars coming in and chatting with each other, right? So this industry is super vast, but in terms of what we target, metaverse in the industrial enterprise sector, there's only one difficulty that I see today, right? Everything is proven. One difficulty which I'm pretty sure is going to be solved in the next few months, if not 1 or 2 years, is how do you bring in that large structures, be it a T-Hub 2.0 or be it Image Tower or be it the new building, the command center that was recently opened up at Hyderabad, right? How do we bring in such huge structures in hours inside the metaverse, right? So today that is possible only if you have a blueprint of the model in 3D, or if you sort of bring in 3D models, 3D scanners to site to sort of scan the entire stuff. That's the only challenge that I see as there. But otherwise, industry is super, in a position where it welcomes metaverse for all their use cases. If the content problem is solved, then it's going to be as seamless as one uses email. Everybody uses email, and you will see a future very soon where everybody will be having their presence in the metaverse as well. So, all of this, what I said, is not possible without my team. My team has been my constant, energy right from the day we started. Right, when we decided to start IMAGINATE, we had a couple of interns and we had a full-time employee, and we're sort of toying with this new idea, right? Of how do we sort of ensure multiple people collaborate with each other, right? Once we had the idea, with my strong supporters then, which was my team, we have a few of them who still work with us. A few of them went to sort of work with other paths as well. But we took that idea to an investor. The team comprises of my employees and my investor. When we took the idea to investor, 2016, towards the end of 2016 is when we found an investor who believed in that idea. Right, so the investor is Sri Capital LLC, which is a Philadelphia-based venture capital firm, and the team, after we raised money, we built the team with the investment that we raised, and we decided to build the product further before we get into an MVP stage, and then wanted to launch it to the market. So we have about 20 people, within which I can't name all the 20 within the short time that I have here. And I don't want to be very preferential as well. So we have a product head who is a person who is a North Carolina State University alum. So she moved back from US to start working with different startups here. Fortunate to have her over the last few years working with her. She heads our product team, and we have product evangelist and sales head who for India region. So he has been our constant support in terms of bringing new sales to the organization. And we have content head who actually was working with a different company earlier in the film industry, but he decided to join me after he heard my dream. In fact, I'm very thankful to him because he's my first leader who brought into inside the organization. So he joined us after he learned the vision of building this whole, metaverse was not a name then, this whole collaborative space, and he learned it because he was in the entertainment industry there. And then he came in with this content background. When I say content, it's all about 3D models, animations and stuff like that, right? Notwithstanding them, so all the developers, all the QA engineers we have, all the supports engineers we have, and all the creative artists we have, and the operations folks that we have, and the HR team that we have, right? So all of them have been very instrumental in sort of helping us move along, build the product, get more customers, not just getting more customers, but finally getting the customer satisfaction as well. So this customer satisfaction piece is what I started to understand much more in the last few years, which is essential, given an opportunity now, which what I would say is very essential for any company out there in the world, for any person out there in the world, right? So now coming back to how did we even evolve with this team, right? The team started on day one from IIIT Hyderabad, inside IIIT's campus, and the first customer we acquired happened to be in T-Hub. Thanks to T-Hub, thanks to T-Hub's boardroom is where we had our first largest discussion with MetLife. The MetLife MD from Singapore, PNB MetLife MD from India, and their entire leadership team, who came in and saw this small 6-member startup then, and they saw us in the boardroom, and T-Hub was the podium for us where we actually launched our vision with MetLife, and MetLife believed in us, and we went ahead. So not just, that's how we started with T-Hub, and that's our first customer as well. And then thereafter, through several conversations, we met a lot of new customers, new leads at T-Hub. T-Hub has been our almost like our office, because we had an office in IIIT as well, and then but T-Hub also, we had a few office spaces in T-Hub. So we would meet every customer in T-Hub. And lastly, just recently, latestly, right? So recently we got to Maruti Suzuki program, and the support from T-Hub that we got was immense. So we are the 2 startups that were selected by Maruti Suzuki India Private Limited, where they took us for our Assist product, so that the Assist product can help all the service engineers across all service centers. And this is all instrumental because of the support that T-Hub gave us, in helping us put across to Maruti Suzuki. While we have worked on it for the last 6 years, we do believe that we have a long way to go. Right? We're so happy that Metaverse is a technology that everybody can understand now, so which solves half of our problem. But we do believe that we have a long way to go, where we are envisioning every user out there, like how they would do a WhatsApp video call. We are envisioning a future where every user out there, every person out there in the world should be able to do a holographic call with their friends or colleagues as well. All that I have to do is to use my phone and dial in my friend, and I should be able to see a holographic avatar of the friend, and I should be able to not just talk to each other, but collaborate with him on a machine that I have a problem with, right? All through a regular phone. And if I need to sort of have that better experience, I should be able to connect my smart glass, through a Bluetooth to the smartphone, and the smartphone is in my pocket, but it sort of communicates with my smartphone, and I should be able to do the same wirelessly as well. This is the future that we believe is going to be there, and we want to be the foremost company out there which will bring this future reality for every person out there. That's our vision. We already have, if you look at our technology video, you will actually notice that's a vision that we already have. And we will rest when everybody has this technology in their hands. So that's our vision for future, and we would like to be a world's #1 company in this space.